I actually got this really great phone call from Steve Jobs, and he said, come down to Apple right now. And I'm like, all right, let's go. And I went down there, and I'm like, why am I down here? What is going on? He's like, I have to show you this. And I'm getting really excited. I used to work for Apple, by the way. When I was 19 years old in 1984, I wrote the first native assembly language on the Macintosh as an employee of Apple as a summer intern. And I love Apple. I love Steve Jobs. And I'm down there and I'm like a kid in a candy store. It's like going to see Willy Wonka. You know, it's like an incredible moment. And he's like, all right, I'm going to show this to you. And he like takes out this box and he's like, now listen. At Apple, we have only one team, one good team. We have a huge company, Mark, but we only have one team that actually knows what they're doing. And so that one team can only do one thing at one time. Do you understand what I'm saying? One thing. I'm saying, yes, sir, I do. He's like, all right, now I'm going to show you. It's the iPad. And here it is. And he shows me. I'm like, this is amazing. He's like, I know it's this, it's that. It's 10 inches. I can't remember the exact size. He's like, yeah, and I love this big size. And I just have to show you this one other thing because I want to get feedback on it. And I'm like, what is it? He takes out a small one and he goes, and this is the small one. I'm like, oh, you should have both of these. He goes, no, never. We'll never do that because we're only going to have one. I'm like, okay, but if you had the small one, no, we're not doing the small one. And they were so cool. And then, you know, he said, you know, for the last 5 years, I've only been, or 3 years or whatever it is, I've only been focused on iPhone. And that was my one thing. But now I'm going to shift into iPad. And I'm like, this is really just awesome. And so, yeah, when we're like rolling out something at SalesForce, and right now we are focused on Agentforce, we take everything that we have learned from the great, incredible Steve Jobs, who inspired my life and my whole industry, my company, and Agentforce, I'm singularly focused on that right now, thinking about how do I deliver 1 billion agents in the world? And this is all I'm doing, 100%. This is a great moment in technology because, I mean, we've all witnessed what AI can do now, how it's changed things. We've all had our ChatGPT moment, you know, where we got on ChatGPT like we had our Google moment where we searched the internet for the first time. You know, maybe it was Yahoo at that point, or maybe it was one of the other services. But we've all now had our ChatGPT moment or our Gemini moment or our U.com moment or whatever it is, whatever the AI that you love using is. And we've been able to take this technology and do some amazing things with it. Now, obviously, we're a huge customer relationship management platform. That means we're helping our customers connect with their customers in new ways. And we do that with many products in sales and service, in marketing, in commerce, in analytics. We own Slack. We own Tableau. We have incredible portfolio of products. And all of those products have been rewritten into a single platform. And that single platform has been augmented with a data cloud. And that data cloud amalgamates all of your data in your company. And then we've done one more thing. So we have the customer 360 platform, we call it. We have our data cloud. And then we have one more layer above it, which is our agentic layer. And that agentic layer is where those agents are living. And they are able to look at all of the applications and all of the workflow and all of the data. And they are very smart. And it's letting companies do incredible new things. So in my example at SalesForce even, I have something that I do for customers, which is provide customer support, like many companies, and service, like many companies. So our site is called help.salesforce.com. We have 36,000 companies that come there every week for help. And if you had talked to me a month ago, I'd tell you that of the 36,000, our technology is very good, but still 10,000 have to talk to human beings, which is why we have about 9,000 people in customer support. Now we've put an agentic layer on that, and those customers are talking to agents first. And those agents have this not only generative AI, but they have all of the other machine intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, all the things built into our platform, and they can resolve about 95% of these customer inquiries. Now, still 5,000 of the 31,000 have to go to human beings. And those human beings then are seamlessly interoperating with that service because this is about humans and agents working together.
but it's those 5,000 are going to humans for the moment. I mean, the speed at which we're seeing intelligence increase.
Peter, I know this is hard for you. I'm in the now. Someone as amazing as you, living in the future, taking whatever you're taking. I don't know. You're way out there in the world. No, I'm here in the now. And right now, Peter, I'm saying, Peter and I are close friends, so I'm kidding him. Right now, in the now moment, of the 36,000 customer inquiries I get every single week, now 31,000 can be resolved by agents. Those are digital agents, software, and 5,000 still have to go to human agents. So it's digital agents and human agents working together as a team. This is a moment of evolution in our whole industry. Yeah. We are, well, look it was in the cloud. We pioneered that. It was mobile. We were a pioneer in that. It was social. We were a pioneer in that. And by the way, this is not our first AI. We also deliver 2 trillion enterprise AI transactions every week already for our customers on our Einstein platform. We do AI for a lot of folks all over the world and have for a long time. But this is the next level, and we're always going to another level. Technology is constantly getting lower cost, easier to use. It's a continuum. Well, I saw the movie Her. Well, I think, I'm a software executive. I'm the chairman and CEO of SalesForce, Peter, and that means I run a company. We'll do about $38 billion in revenue this year, about $12.9 billion in cash flow. And we run the CRM for about 135,000 companies, helping them connect with their customers. A lot of companies, like Disney and, Royal Bank of Canada, JP Morgan Chase, or, different organizations, all kinds of great companies that very, very well. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that this idea that, what Salesforce needs to do is deliver this agentic platform. We need to make our customers successful, just like I'm making myself successful. We've already sold more than 1,500 paid implementations of this Agentforce platform, 3,000 total customers already implementing. I've never seen anything go as fast as it's going. It's amazing. And this is just a moment in time in technology. And we're going to pioneer this, lead this, and help every company connect with their customers in this incredible new agentic way. We're a platform that you can build your own agent now. This is not some future idea. Like, you can get onto Salesforce, and we have thousands of companies right now building agents. And one of our customers is one of the largest home builders in the country, and they're amazing. They don't want me to use their names, so I won't. But yeah, we already do all their sales and service and their marketing automation. And, they're like, hey, we need to do 24/7 service for our homes. We need to sell mortgages. We need to do all these things. We don't have enough people to do it. And they're building a completely agentic platform around their company to be a better home builder, a better bank, a better media company. And to that point, then that vision that you have, gets expressed through those companies, I think, in many ways. Well, I think in some cases, like all technology has, there will be a change in jobs. That's what we've seen in technology throughout history. And this will be true. Look at my company. I mentioned it already once in the podcast, which was that we have 9,000 support agents, and we'll probably take a couple thousand and move them into other jobs at Salesforce because we've built a new agentic layer on all of our customer support and service. This year, we'll also build an agentic layer on our sales and sales development capabilities and business development capabilities. So that will have implications as well. And so, yes, that's what you want. You want to be constantly looking for the opportunity to make things lower cost and easier to use. And that can have implications for jobs, and jobs will move. And that will be true in every industry, from, healthcare to consumer product goods to retail to the government, across the board. And that's a great thing. And let's rebalance our workforce, because, as you said earlier as well, we have declining birth rates. We have less labor. We have less capability. In the United States, it's already very hard for me to hire sales and service professionals. I'm trying to hire 2,000 more salespeople right now at Salesforce. I'm trying to find the best enterprise software executives in the world to come to Salesforce. There aren't that many in our industry at scale. So, we're going to have to build some digitally. Digital labor is real. I mean, agentic platforms and agents and robots are kind of the same thing in a way, if you think about it as digital labor. And you're going to be able to take these, you can see these great videos coming out of Stanford right now. And in the video, in this incredible project, this Mahalo project, which are AI models that are working to run these robots, and they are cleaning these hotel rooms.
I've seen those. Is that your philanthropy funding those?
It's not my philanthropy funding it, but our team at SalesForce comes out of Stanford, and our head of research in AI is also a professor of AI at Stanford. And so we're very involved with these folks. And I would say that I just talked actually to the creators of this Mahalo model, so it's on my mind that, here's this robot, cleaning this hotel room. And I'm like, and I funded a couple of children's hospitals. And I went right there and I said, for some of these new therapies we have for cancer, and we need the ability to not bring humans into, the hospital rooms of kids who are going through some of these therapies. As you know very well, you've got you're the MD with the technical background, but that idea of a robot cleaning a hospital room or a robot cleaning a hotel room, it's also going to have to be linked to the hotel record, the customer record on the hotel. Hello, Mr. Benioff. Is it okay that I'm in here, or should I leave the room right now? Or the hospital room where it's like, this can happen in this hospital room and this cannot. This is very exciting that we can augment our human workforce with a digital workforce or a robotic workforce or an agentic workforce. And we are moving into that very fast. And that's not in the future. That is the here and now. Picked off the top 2 of the 5. The first one is, look, we're moving into an agentic world where human workforce will be augmented by digital labor, and that companies, organizations will be able to extend their workforces. And it's going to be awesome. Like, even in the healthcare area where you're so strongly vested, you know what just happened with my Achilles. We talked about it, and I just, regenerated my Achilles. I'm sure we'll get there. But that idea that, I need preoperative care, postoperative care. I need to talk to experts all the time when they're not available, but I can talk to agents. And I'm sure all of us are going to ChatGPT and asking medical questions as well. We saw that study that was amazing, right? Where the accuracy level can be higher than a lot of doctors.
Well, it's not only that. The accuracy level of the agent alone was higher than the doctor and the agent, because the doctor's injecting bias into all the...
Yes.
It's crazy.
Our head of engineering, who's amazing, came to me about 3 weeks ago and said, we've been deploying this technology now over the last basically 2 years. And we're writing code, delivering technology and capabilities faster than we've ever done. And we've got tens of thousands of engineers. We have 75,000 people total. And he's like, I don't want any more engineers this year. I'm like, what did you say? I don't want any more engineers this year. I'm like, you've never said that before. He goes, I know, but we are just in the last year 30% more productive, and we're doing great, and we just want to focus and get all this done. And I'm like, wow, this is a moment where not only am I going to hire less customer support engineers, because I didn't really finish my story on that customer support, which is that there's 9,000 customer support engineers. I don't need as many of them anymore, and I can rebalance them into new areas in the company. And software engineers, the same thing. So in these key areas, of running a big company, which is what we're doing at SalesForce, we're able to rebalance our workforce based on the evolution of artificial intelligence. And this is very exciting for a CEO like myself. Well, for 25 years, I've been, took this company from as an idea to where it is today, the second largest software company in the world. You've been along the ride with me for quite a long ways. And, it's a lot of fun. I'm not an Elon Musk. I don't have 6 companies that I'm doing this with. I can only do one, maybe 2 with Time. I own Time magazine. But really only one. I can do one. I can focus. I can do the one thing, the Steve Jobs idea. I can't do the Elon Musk thing, which is singularly focused on 6 or 10 things. Now even the U.S. government, maybe other governments also. I guess he's also focused on Germany and the UK as well. I can't do that. I don't have that capability. I didn't find that psychedelic or whatever he's been able to do. I can only do what I'm doing. My unaltered mind is singularly focused on Salesforce. And I am just trying to deliver the number one CRM company in the world, delivering on the number one CRM AI and agentic platform and Agentforce. And that's really where my mind is at. And when you do look at that, look, technology is getting lower cost. It's easier to use. And AI is moving in this direction as well, that we have these bigger data centers, bigger chips, everything's getting faster, bigger, better. And when we apply these deep learning models, and by the way, a lot of them have been invented at Salesforce. We're really proud that prompt engineering was invented at Salesforce. A lot of the major deep learning research has come out of Salesforce, and 2 out of the top 5 most accurate models are out of Salesforce. And when we look at what's going on in AI, yes, it's incredible what is going on, but we still have a long way to go. So let me just give you a little dash of reality, which is these models, the nature of the models, and we can go into how the models work, but they're not 100% accurate, Peter, because of the nature of how they're trained and and how they operate. They're not 100%. Nobody has a 100% accurate model. And we're very good. We're in the 90s on our new Atlas reasoning engine, which is the core part of Agentforce 2.0 that you mentioned. Our customers are having some incredible experiences. We've been able to talk about great things that we're doing with customers, helping them to give them unlimited workforces. You know, we have this great company called Wiley. It's a bookseller, and they used to have to spike, their workforce, and back to school. They don't have to do that anymore. They're using agents. It's incredible. Disney, that you know very well, they have a very complex product line for their cast members. We're able to give them incredible, super high accurate AI to help them run their company in incredible new ways and help their customers also find all the products that they want, to kind of give them the Disney product that's most important to them. Or we have incredible banks, like I mentioned, RBC, that's doing wealth management to help somebody plan their future with an agent technology. That's amazing. But none of these things are 100%. So we can do a lot of things, but nobody can do everything. And the vision that we keep hearing of these magical 3 initials, AGI, which is the fantastical vision for the future of 2030, 2040, 2050, when we say, Hal, open the door. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, Hal. I will not open the door. Why will you not open the door?
Well, let's go.
I'm sure that we are hitting to the point where we're going to come home and say, hey, make me an omelet, make my bed, take care of this, do that, do this. I don't know how fast all of that exactly is going to happen. I'm not very good in those areas, but I think we're moving in that direction. And I think we're all going to want that kind of technology and that kind of capability. Look, we already have robot cars, right? So your car maybe drove you to the office, and it's just a robot on wheels at this point.
It is.
I got into a Waymo, and I was like, I just called it with my phone, jumped in the Waymo, went to my office, boom, it's a robot on wheels. It's the same thing, right? It's like...
It's sinful that we haven't invested heavily into nuclear in this country. The Gen 4 reactors are safe. Talk to me about your thoughts on how do we power this AI revolution, and what are you doing in that field?
Well, number one is I think we are using a lot of energy that we don't need to be using, and we could go into that. But I think that in a lot of the training of these models and how we're doing AI, Salesforce is committed to being a net zero company, and we're doing a lot of things to be net zero. You know that.
I do.
And this is extremely important. We think we are. I'm sure there could be challenges to that idea already. And even as we implement our AI technology, we're holding that line. But I think there's people who are using exhaustive amounts of AI energy because they're in various levels of competitive races that is causing that to happen. So let's put that issue completely to the side for just a second. And you're right. We need new energy capabilities. You know that I spent a lot of time on the Big Island of Hawaii. That is a place where it's already 60% renewable. Mm-hmm. They use wind. They use solar. They have a volcano, which helps them because they've got geothermal. And they've got batteries. And what I hope is that a company like a Commonwealth Energy, where I'm an investor, will be able to offer fusion, which is not fission, but fusion. So it's not small modular nuclear, that fusion will be real. I think that is an absolute possibility. You mentioned Vinod Khosla, who is the absolute lead investor in that company. And then, yes, you're right, this kind of smaller nuclear power plants that we've seen start to get deployed. There's even tests of those. I think we're very optimistic. I don't know if you're going to use that in a island where there's a high volcanic activity, but you might find a lot of places where you can use that very successfully. And look, how do we know that's a capability? Well, we know that we have this nuclear aircraft carriers and submarines, and you also know it's probably one of the highest safety rates that have ever happened of any kind of ship vessel. And we have the ability to just, think about just taking those aircraft carriers and submarines, just plug them into the electric grid on these islands. Like, that's a real thought. Like, why can't we just do that?
What's your advice for entrepreneurs who want to take moonshots on like you've done?
Get really clear about what you want. I think number one is, do you really know what you want? Because, look, we're all creating exactly what we want every day, and we need extreme, radical focus on our intention. And that is the most important thing. And you mentioned your friend Elon quite a few times. That guy's got some crazy radical, focus on his intention across many categories. And it seems like, as we've known him for a while, he comes up with new intentions all the time. But wow, we need that same idea. Like, what is our intention? And then what are our values? What are our core values? What are our principles to help us? I mentioned trust is important, especially when we talk about energy, or when we bumped into nuclear on this call. That, surfaces my core value of trust. And then three is, how are we going to get these things? What is our actual plan? But let's not jump into the plan before we get clear about the intention and the values that are going to guide us. And of course, the obstacles will surface. What is preventing us from achieving our success? And the fifth area that, I focus on is the KPIs. How do I know I'm going to be successful? But when we go to the KPIs too fast, I think we can lose sight of our intention and our values, our vision and our values, our plan, our, clarity of our obstacles that we're going to have to overcome. And then we can all write down exactly how we know we will be successful. And those 5 areas, I think, is the most important thing for every single entrepreneur. So when you start your day as an entrepreneur, you're starting your fiscal year, that's what I'm about to do on February 1st, then I'm going to write down those 5 things. And that's really the power of entrepreneurship, is getting clear about those 5 things. And one of your friends, Tony, he may be responsible for helping teach me and hone me on some of those questions, because I think the quality of your questions is the quality of your entrepreneurship.
Yes.
You can ask those right questions. It's going to give you the ability to be a better entrepreneur and have a better outcome. And that came from our good buddy. And I will say that this is kind of how I lead for the last 25 years. I'm constantly working with our employees, asking them those 5 questions. So if I meet a manager or divisional executive or somebody working on a new product, that's where I start with those 5 questions.